What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unsolicited with Sam and Jordyn. I am Sam. This is Jordyn. Almost messed that up. It is, we've said this many times over the course of this podcast. Actually feels like eons since we did an episode, which has only been 2 weeks. So, hello, Jordyn. How are you doing?
I am doing so well. I'm definitely exhausted.
Yes.
Moving, I think, is one of the hardest things ever in the entire world. But no, I'm so good. But no, me and Sam talked about it the last few days, just how we obviously life happens. We take week-long pauses in the podcast whenever we need to.
Mhm.
But this one in particular, Sam, I feel like I have not seen your face in 3 years, and I don't know what changed, but it's been forever. I'm so happy to be back. For our visual watchers, if you're watching our YouTube, you can see my setup is slightly different. It honestly doesn't look that different though. I am in a new place though, and this will not be the setup for much longer. I just cannot walk in my new office yet, so we're getting there. But Sam, how have you been?
I've been good. It literally, Jordyn and I were texting each other over the last, week or 2, literally saying, "I miss you."
Yes.
Literally, reaching out to one another like we hadn't spoken within 14 days. It was so strange how long this has felt, but yes, Jordyn is now in a new apartment with her boyfriend, Brian, which is so exciting. I am still here living my best life, trying to decipher these as bangs, even though they're literally past my jawline now. But we're working with what we got. I just scheduled my hair appointment, so in the next couple of weeks, you guys we'll have fresh roots, we'll have bangs again. It'll be great.
No, I did that a few weeks ago, and it was the greatest feeling ever. My bangs, which are supposed to stop right where they are right now, were literally down to here. And I was trying to do my ponytails with my bangs, and I was like, this doesn't even work anymore.
No. It's actually I kept trying to schedule just something where I can go and get them trimmed, and then it just one thing after the other, it just never worked out. So my hair lady literally texted me back today, and she was like, I can get you in on a Sunday in a couple weeks. And I was like, praise be. I'm so excited. And my hair is all grown out, and I'm just I need fresh, especially the fact that it's getting warmer. Chef's kiss. I think we say this every year. I feel the seasonal depression leaving my body.
Yes. No, every single year when the clocks change for the first time and it starts getting dark at 4 p.m., I'm like, oh my God, my body is not ready for this, as if it has not happened at the same exact time for all 26 years of my entire existence.
Yeah.
Still will never get used to it. But the flip side of that and the positive side is that it never gets old. Those first few days where that first 60, 70 degree day, which were teetering right there, when you're oh my God, it's warm. That's an unreal feeling. And then also driving home from work and it's light out. And you're I can go out to dinner or stop at a store and run an errand after work. I feel like winter, I just hibernate. I go right from the office to home and I don't stop anywhere in between or talk to anybody.
No, I literally, that's why it's I go to kickboxing in the evening, and in the wintertime when I'm driving to kickboxing at 5:45, it's pitch black. And now I've been driving and it's been the sun is just setting, and I'm oh, incredible. I can see. I don't have to turn my car lights on right away. It is so perfect, and just oh my God, it makes me so happy. But I want to talk books with you before we get into, because we are talking NFL today, people. I know it's been a hot minute, but nothing's been going on. So we will be talking NFL, but I do want to hear, I don't know if you've had chances to read recently, but what are you up to? What are you doing?
So here we go. I am fully in prep mode for Sunrise on the Reaping, the newest
Oh.
Harry Potter release. So, or Harry Potter.
I
Sorry,
was
I moved. Hunger Games. Hunger Games.
I was like, my heart just stopped. I was like, "Are you telling me there's a new Harry Potter book out and I didn't know?"
No, I'm so sorry. However,
Okay.
good news, there is a new Hunger Games coming.
Yes.
It's the story of Haymitch
Mhm.
and his games. So I'm literally just like counting down, waiting for that. So obviously finished Onyx Storm.
Yeah.
And then had like this lull, this month lull. And so I was like, okay, like let me go through. I told you about my Goodreads challenges. So I'm like reading books that Goodreads recommends. So I read one book for Black History Month. It was by a Black female author, and it
Right.
was called An Academy for Liars. Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I devoured, and I've seen so many mixed ratings about this book, which I can I can easily see why people wouldn't like it. However, personally, I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal, like dark academia. It was like a standalone fantasy magic vibe. It's just really, really cool and different. Like it was so refreshing. And
Yeah.
then,
Go
oh,
ahead.
sorry,
No,
continue.
go ahead. No, go.
I was gonna say, so I finished that in literally 5 days, like, could not put it
Amazing.
down. And now I'm reading a book called The Keeper or Keeper of Enchanted Rooms. And it's like just it's like a 360-page fantasy book. I didn't realize there's like actually 4 of them. So we'll see if I just like read them. But it's just like very cute, very whimsical, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh, good. I know, what I was gonna say was I saw Kat and she told me that you texted her about that book,
Yes.
and she was like, "Jordan texted me," and I was just like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, she texted me about a book," and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
No, Sam, I was literally reading this book and I told you about I was trying to tell all my book friends about it because I was like, I don't know anyone that's read it. And I was like, I'm just obsessed with this. Like I was like consumed by it. And then I was reading it and I was like, you know who would like this? It was like dark, like I said, dark,
Yeah.
creepy academia.
Mhm,
I was like, Cat. So I
mhm.
texted Kat and I was like, have you read this? And she was like, no, but it's been on my TBR. And I was like, I'm reading it and I love it. And then
Yeah.
I texted her after and I was like, can confirm.
Yes.
Consistently loved it. It was one of those where like I couldn't predict where it was going at all, and I love that.
Yeah. That's literally
It
I
was like
am curr
unraveling, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
I am currently reading I'm on the last book of The Cruel Prince. I heard that there was so much hype around it. Kat told me that it was, like, god tiered, like, she was like, "I'm, like, obsessed with this series."
And you didn't love the first one, right?
I like, most of but that's how I feel about a lot of first
First,
fantasy
yeah.
books, um, but they're shorter. They're, like, no more than 350 pages, so, like, they're really easy to digest, so,
Mhm.
I know, like, sometimes with, like, Sarah J. Maas or Rebecca Yarros, like, I'm, like, flipping back and forth, like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on?" You know,
Mhm.
like, "Where are we?" Like, "Who are the people?" Like, this is, like it's a world, and it's got characters, and it's, like, a fantasy fairy world, but, like, there's not a lot of other things happening, other pieces, like, it's just this one story. So, like, it's so easy to digest. I w audibly gasped probably every 2 minutes while reading the end of the first and second book. It is like, you do not know where the fuck it's going ever, and I'm like, I get why everyone says that this is so, so good, and I'm about to start the 3rd book, and I read, like, the prologue, but I can already tell, I'm like, I have no idea what's gonna happen, and that's the type of stuff that I love because I'm like, a lot of times I can figure out what's going to happen, and that's no fun. So, I am so, so, so excited to finish this
Um,
series.
no, I absolutely love that for you, and that's one I want to read eventually. There was also I'm forgetting I, like, know the name of it, but I can't think of it. And I'm trying to find it on my TBR, and I wanna see if this is on your to be read too. But wait, no, I really do wanna read Cruel Prince and ooh, Caraval.
Oh, yes. So
This one.
yes. So actually, I ransacked Kat's library recently, and she had that book, and she was like, "You can have it if you want." And I read the inside of it, and I just like it didn't
Okay.
it didn't come at me. But if you read it and you're like, "Wow, I think Sam would like this book," then I'll read it. But she gave me like a bunch of books that I'm like, I would have never bought for myself, but she didn't want them, so I just took them.
No, that's absolutely unreal. I still want to get you to use the Kindle. That's
It's slowly getting there, like, the more who else was I just talking to about? Oh, I was talking to somebody else about it, and I was like, the more that I talked about it with another person, the more I was, like, convincing myself of what a good
yes,
idea it was. So I might be like, ask for it for, like, my birthday or something
yes.
this year.
No, that would
But
be perfect. And I still read like physical books as well,
yeah.
but having the Kindle as like an addition is phenomenal. And like
Just,
I
like,
finished my other
traveling.
book. I finished An Academy for Liars, which I read as a physical. And then I was like, I don't feel like going to Barnes and Noble. And I just looked on Kindle Unlimited and it had this book that's been on my TBR. So like, fuck it.
Mhm.
And then I just automatically had it.
Yeah. I've like, the thing was that was always keeping me from it was that I was like, "Oh, I love, physical books and this and that, and I love having them as, like, almost like a trophy, like, this is what I
Mhm.
read." But meanwhile, I'm listening to audiobooks and borrowing books from other people and then giving them back, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm literally going against my entire thought here that, like, this is why I don't have a Kindle. So I'm like, "You know what? I'll bite. I'll get a Kindle and, try it out." But again, it's like I wanted to bring 2 books with me to New Orleans, and it was, like, such a bitch to put in my
Yes.
bag. So I'm like, it would just make so much more sense to have a Kindle where you have all of your books on it.
Yes. No, I was teetering. You knew when we were on our reading
Yeah.
retreat, I was going back and forth and I was like, I'm starting to really like the idea, but I was always such a physical book girly and I was very scared to like not have that.
Mhm.
And then we literally went on our Cancun trip in November and I was like, a Kindle would hit so fucking hard right now. And that's when
Mhm.
I like officially asked for it and then I got it for Christmas.
Mhm. Yeah, well, speaking of our reading retreat, we're going on another reading retreat in a
Yes.
month, which is, like, crept up so fast, but that after I finish this last book of the Cruel Prince series, I'm gonna read our book that we're gonna be reading for our reading retreat, which is Empire of Storms. Um, right? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Which
so
is really throwing me off.
right, because of the Throne of Glass book.
Yes.
Yes, because I also thought that at first. I was like, "Wait, is this?" Yeah, I was like, "No, it's not connected. It just happens to be like a very similar title."
Yes.
But
It's like combining 2 of the Throne of Glass books titles.
yes, and then after Empire of Shadows, I will be starting at well, okay. This is what I wanted to ask you about
Okay.
because I've read so many different things about how to read these books and how
Yes.
people are like, "Oh, you should read Assassin's Blade first," or "No, you should read Throne of Glass first." And like me, I'm like a simple person. It's like I just want to jump into it and read it in order. But like, how did you read it?
I actually read, which I don't see people talking about the way I read it at all anymore.
Oh.
I'm seeing people either read it first or third. I actually read it fourth.
Oh.
And so I read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire,
Okay.
and then Assassin's Blade, and then I went into Queen of Shadows.
Okay.
And I personally loved that rating order.
Okay.
I'll show you the guide that I followed. But to me, because obviously Assassin's Blade's a prequel, so
Right.
like to me, it made more sense to like start with the actual from like where the actual plot starts.
Right. Well, yeah,
And then
that's what I was thinking.
yeah, so like I started with Throne of Glass, and then you read on, and I'm gonna be honest, Heir of Fire is you're gonna be so bored. Like in the whole series, it makes sense. But Heir of Fire, I was like, okay, where is this going? And I've seen so many people say I got 3 books in and I couldn't keep going because Heir of Fire is slow, but you just have to know that like after that is when like
All the
pedal to the metal,
yeah.
boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. Like, so it's like you have to just digest it as a whole. But to me, that's why it felt so good. Cause then I went back and Assassin's Blade was so quick. And
Mhm.
then you're back in the rest of the series. And it made, I don't know if this is a good recommendation. It made Assassin's Blade hurt more
Okay.
to me.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so I really liked my reading order.
'Cause I was thinking about it and I was like, "Okay, I'm seeing, like, non-spoiler type of explanations that's like, okay, Assassin's Blade is a prequel." And I'm
Yes.
like, "You don't read the prequel or like you don't start with a prequel. You usually get your established story first, and then you go back to the prequel, like Star Wars.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's what I was thinking about. But then I was like, if I don't read Assassin's Blade first, then what should I read first? So I
Throne
was
of
like, yeah, I'll
Glass.
just ask Jordan. So okay,
I
so I'll start with
strongly,
Throne of Glass then.
yes, start with Throne of Glass. And then totally up to you if you do Assassin's Blade third or fourth. And then
Okay.
have I told you about the tandem read?
Yes, I'm very familiar with the tandem read,
Okay,
and I
good.
am very interested in it, and I would like to tandem read because also, like that's just how I am. Like I get bored really easily, so it's like any way to make it so that I am the least amount of bored as possible
Yeah.
is exactly what I want.
Yes. No, the tandem read. And I honestly think so. The tandem read is Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms.
Wait, what is the name of this book?
Wait, yeah, is it actually the same?
Empire of Storm. Okay, yes, Empire of Storms, Sarah J. Maas.
So what book are we reading for our reading retreat?
I think it's Empire of Storms. Wait, I just ordered it, so let me just go into my Amazon orders really quick. Empire of Shadows.
Okay, so there's Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms in Throne of Glass.
Yes.
But separate book outside of Throne of Glass that we are reading for our reading retreat is Empire of Shadows.
Empire of Shadows, yes. Raiders of the Arcana is like the in parentheses.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but I think so, and this is no spoilers. This is literally just how it's set up.
Yeah.
They're not related at all, and they came out like 2 years apart, but they're just simultaneously happening. So to me, it made everything more dramatic because even if there were like slow parts in one, usually the other one was very quick and you were like thinking about that one. So you're flying through the slow parts to get back, and it just flips. Like there was constant momentum for me.
Wait, so what do you mean? They have nothing to do with each other, those books? Like they don't at all connect?
It's all connected.
Oh, okay. It's almost like a universe? Okay, if it's gonna spoil it, then
I
I'm
mean,
just like
it's
trying
just
to
like
like understand.
there's so many characters.
Okay.
There are a ton of ambulances. I really hope everyone is okay.
Oh
But
my
there
God.
are so many characters and like so many, just so much happening.
Okay. Do I need to like keep a notebook by me or something?
Probably.
Okay. Okay.
Probably.
I just want to go into this with the right mindset. Like I don't want to start and then be like thrown off guard. Like, oh wait, I don't remember this person. So it's like if I like jot down something or like maybe I'll annotate. I
No,
don't normally
honestly,
annotate, but maybe I will.
so I started Throne of Glass. I saw the cover of Throne of Glass in a Barnes and Noble like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, whoa, that looks fucking cool. And then I saw the whole table of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm interested in this series, but I had no idea what it was. And I wasn't even reading fantasy at that point.
Yeah.
So then I can't remember who, but someone finally convinced me to read ACOTAR, and I started ACOTAR. And then I was like, I need more from this author. And then I looked up Sarah J. Maas and saw that Throne of Glass was hers. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is perfect. Like I was drawn into this book. And I have this weird thing where like, I never usually read like the inside flap or the back cover. Like I love going in. I'm like, don't even tell me the main character's name. Like,
Yeah.
and not that it changes anything, but I'm
No, but
just
it does.
weird. It makes it fun. So I went into Throne of Glass after ACOTAR completely blind and just said, I'm going to start reading. When I told you when I was 3 books in, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Where am I? Who are these people? Like,
Yeah.
I was so like, what the hell? But it changed my life.
Okay. All right. So maybe I will, because I actually did that with The Cruel Prince. And I like jumped into this book and I was like 50 pages into it. And I was just like, dude, I have no fucking idea what about to happen. Like, I don't know where this is going. And it starts very jarring too. It jumps you, it puts you right into it. And you're just like, whoa. And so I was like, the fuck is going on? And I realized like while I was like halfway through the book, I was like, oh, I never actually read the back of this book. I have no idea what it's about. I just blindly trusted Catherine to tell me that yes, this book is good and you should read it. And I said, okay. So I understand.
I love it. It makes it so fun.
It does. It makes it a lot of fun. But yeah, so Queen of Nothing, Empire of Shadows. No. This is my order of books that I'm gonna read.
I thought. Well, why are all these books titles so similar?
I don't know. Queen of Nothing is the last book in The Cruel Prince. Then I'll go into Empire of Shadows, and then I'll go into Throne of Glass.
where you're gonna read Queen of Shadows and Empire of Storms.
Yep.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
We need some more creative names, fantasy
Yeah.
authors.
I'm listening to another book right now, called Ministry of Time. I don't
Ooh,
know if you've heard of it, but it is
no.
our book club book for next week or next month. Or rather this month. Shit, we have book club in like 2 weeks. I
No,
have to
I
like
have like 5 books to read in March and 0 time.
yeah,
Like
it's kind of insane. But it's a book about, and it would definitely be a book that I would never read, but it's a book about a like a CIA type of agent, and she works in like the time division, and it's like time things, and like she's like, I don't know, they're like saving people within time and bringing them back to and I've literally listened to like 30 minutes of this book, and it's already like it's pretty good so far.
yeah, I just literally added it to my Goodreads TBR.
Yeah, it is. It's and I actually we like chose between 2 books, and I chose the other one because I'm always like time shit kind of fucks with me, and I'm
Mhm.
like, I don't know. But now that I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty good. But yeah.
No, I love that. And I'm really enjoying my process. I'm just kind of like blindly picking books that like I don't know much about because I
Nice.
feel like I last year I spent so much time reading like all like the big popular ones and it was so fun and I
Yeah.
had a great time. But like it gets a little repetitive when you read too much of like the same like author or like even
Oh,
just
yeah.
fantasy, like romantasy in general. Like at some point I'm like, okay. So like I'm still reading fantasy, but it's like very different. And it's just like I'm like, this is so fun. Like I'm having so much fun with it. And then a new Hunger Games. I'm like,
Yeah.
March is amazing.
I will say, I don't mean to keep like talking about The Cruel Prince, but it's like on my brain. The Cruel Prince is
Valid.
nothing like any other romance fantasy series that I've read.
Really?
Like it is I didn't even know that the love, like, and like even still, do we want to call it love? I don't know. But like the relationship arc in these books, in the beginning, in the first book, I didn't even know who the person was going to be. Like you don't like I would like again, and I went in blind, and like as it was going on, I was like, wait, is this the person that we're falling in love with? And like I was like, there's not like that generic trope where you're like, Zayden Ryerson shows up and he's hot and sexy and dark, and you're like, well, obviously this is the guy that we're hooking up with.
Yeah.
Like you would like that's just something just to bring up. So like if you are reading romance fantasy, like The Cruel Prince is, and it doesn't
Different.
hyperfixate on the romance either. It's like it's just a part of it.
Ooh, see, that's my favorite.
Like there's no smut.
Oh,
And
I'm gonna love Cruel Prince.
yeah, it's like there are a few scenes here and there that involve some intimate things, but they're not detailed. And like there's like one scene in the book. Like it is very much focused on the main character and like
Yeah.
her journey.
I'm realizing like what I loved Actar. That was like the first like romantasy that I read.
Mhm.
And I don't even think it gets smuttier as it goes on, but I still think that's not insane.
Yeah,
Was
no,
it?
I don't remember. I remember people talking about it being so smutty, and it's like there is, but like
Yes.
it didn't. Like there's like a whole chapter sometimes just about intimate scenes, and I was just like, okay, but like it wasn't like so much that everyone's like what was the book that I read? Like Icebreaker.
Oh
I know you
yeah.
never read Icebreaker. Icebreaker is straight smut. There is nothing going on in that book except them having sex. Like that is it. That is not what happens in ACOTAR. Like there's a war going on. We have
Yes.
other political fairy things to talk about. So like,
Yes.
but this is like straight like it just it is a very different vibe, which I'm excited now to jump into Throne of Glass because I know you mentioned it's the same kind of thing. It's like
Yes.
there's love and romance, but like that is not the premise of the books.
100%. And I'm realizing like I really enjoyed Actar when I read it. We read Quicksilver, which was pretty smutty.
That one was one of the more smutty books that I've read.
Yes, that was a lot. And like I enjoy it. They're fun. But
Sure.
like I definitely like the more young adult fantasy. Like I will get in the mood for like, oh, I'll do a smutty romantasy. Sure. But like I definitely fuck more with the young adult fantasy vibe. I just like fantasy.
You'll like Powerless then too.
Woo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a
whenever you get
little,
around to
no
Powerless.
pun intended, a little booked and busy.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I started doing that.
yeah, isn't it
Yes,
so fun?
you inspired me. I literally started it last night because I was like, I need to keep track of these. So like these were my 2024 books, which is just it's just a list. But then these are my 2025 books and I
Yeah.
have stars and like little descriptions on like what I liked about them. And like I put little headphones next to the ones that I'm listening to. So like I know which ones I physically read and which ones I listened
Shut
to.
up. That's so fucking cute.
Yeah. And like I'm like, you know what? I feel a little bit more in control now. Like I feel
Whoa.
like, you know. Also, I got a new phone. I'm very excited about it.
Sam, you're a new person. I
It's
haven't
like
seen you in a week and a half.
I literally like I got like a freaking Can you hear that?
Yes. What is going on outside of our
I don't
worlds?
know. Someone literally just went like 100 miles an hour down my street. But yeah, I like traded in my fucking iPhone 11 and I got an iPhone 16 and I'm like I can suddenly count people's pores on like the pictures that I take and stuff. I'm like it's insane. But yeah.
No, I love that for you. No, I love having my little list. It just
Yeah,
makes
it's
me feel
nice.
so calm.
Yeah, and like you're just like, "Oh, like look at all that I accomplished." I love the visual aspect of it too.
Yes.
That it's like, "Wow, like I did this and I try to, like, be very realistic with, like, my rankings too. It's like, I've seen so many TikToks recently that's just, like, me giving another book 5 stars because I'm so easily, like, just like, "Yeah, that was
That's
really good, check."
that's literally me. Like
But,
I
like,
can
I'm trying not to do that.
yes. And I did that. I actually so when I first read Fourth Wing, immediately I was like 5 stars because I
Mhm.
did enjoy it. And then I
Yeah,
actually went back and changed it. And I was like, this is so not a
not
5-star
5-star.
book. Like
100%, especially as you're reading more books that you're like, "This is a 5-star book."
yes.
Like, for me, Cruel Prince and the second book is called The Wicked King, like, both of those books for me, 5 stars, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "There's no fucking way that Onyx Storm is a 5-star book."
No, I'm like, I'm putting
No.
Onyx Storm on the same tier as The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. And like, I won't sleep at night, like with that mindset. Like, there's
No.
no possible way.
Yeah, it's
So
like
I'm trying
you
to
have to
reserve
draw
like
a line.
4 stars for me. Very good book, thoroughly enjoyed. But like, I'm trying to reserve more of like, I have every single ACOTAR book as a 5-star. And I'm like,
Mm.
ACOTAR itself, like A Court of Thorns and Roses could
Oh,
probably be
3.
4, like
Oh, I'd give
3.
it a 3. But
You
I
gave
did
it
that's just
3?
because I was not a fan of that first book.
Yes. And again, it was like I give it 5 stars because I enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
like it's not good. Like
If I had to give any of these a 5 stars, I would give Wings and Ruin a 5-star.
yes.
Like,
And
Wings and Ruin for
honestly,
me was the 5-star book in that series.
honestly, no, you're right. Mist and Fury I love, but I think overall that'd actually be a 4.
Agreed.
And then
Like, Mist and Fury is my favorite one of the
yes,
5, but yeah, I agree, it's like the substance is a 4.
yes. Silver Flames for me is a 5.
Okay, I'd probably give it, like, a 4.5.
Okay, that's fair.
I'd give it, like, that in between, like, I loved it, and it was so good, but, like, I like Wings and Ruin just a little bit more.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
but
Look at us. We're maturing.
we are maturing. Girl, I'm gonna be 30 next year.
Sam, please.
Alright, NFL offseason. Don't have time to think about my mortality right now.
No, I'm honestly real quick, I'm
Yeah.
very excited to turn 30. Because then I feel like everybody will finally let me be.
Yep.
No one will care that I don't leave my house anymore once I'm 30 and I can finally be in peace.
Dude, so much fucking respect. Actually, I feel like you're gonna start feeling that, like, by the time you turn, like, 28. Like,
Thank
you're gonna
I
get that.
I've been doing it for the last 2 years.
Yes.
People are just like, "No, you're supposed to still be out." And I'm like, "No,
Oh,
not me. I
trust
like
me.
my 4 walls."
Trust me. I'm in the same boat, and
Yes.
I've been feeling like that for about a year now. Like, everyone in my friend group is like, "Do you wanna just come over and, like, have a glass of wine?" And I'm like, "Yes, I
Yes.
do." And, like, anytime we even think about going out, it gets canceled. Like,
Yes.
even I don't even think I've been out since my bachelorette party.
No, I
Like,
literally
out,
my
out.
My favorite thing ever too, this is me and Abby's. So if you guys don't know, one of my best friends, I have two best friends, two Abby's. Oh my God, my brain. There are two Abby's in my life that are some of my best friends. And one lives in Rhode Island and one lives in New York City. New York City Abby is one of my best friends from high school. And whenever I go to visit her, we always plan like an entire weekend jam-packed of like events. We're like, we're going to do this, and then we're going to get brunch, and then we're going to go out to dinner, and then we're going to go dancing after dinner. And then we get there and we look at each other and we are like, we are going to watch the most disgusting reality TV and not move a single muscle and DoorDash McDonald's. And it is the greatest experience of my entire life.
Nothing brings me more joy than like not waking up hungover.
Yes.
Like the idea, like, and I've been hungover like recently, like not like kind of semi recently. And I literally was like, I never want to feel this way again.
Yep.
And like just physically don't do it anymore. Like obviously I'll have a drink here and there and like enjoy myself, but like not to the point of like, oh, I'm gonna like literally when I take a drink of something. Actually, I'm lying to you because when I was in New Orleans, we did go out and we did have drinks, but I stopped myself a lot of the times because I'd have like a freaking sugary ass drink, and I'm like, if I drink this, I'm going to feel ill in the morning,
Yep.
possibly throw up. Don't want to do that. And I would just like wouldn't drink it. Which younger me would never. If there was alcohol in front of me, younger me, I'd be like, I have to ingest this. I paid for it.
Yes. I've struggled with liquor always, but the freaking Coors Lights and Twisted Teas hated to
The
see me
Twisted
coming.
Teas.
Hey, I had a full Twisted Tea summer one year where the only thing I would drink was a half and half Twisted Tea. And then the Coors Lights, that was a problem. I was a 50-year-old man, essentially, drinking Coors Light bottles.
Oh my God.
Who am I? But no, I have to say, proud of myself. Granted, I was supposed to be doing 75 hard before my health totally took a turn.
Yes.
I gave up on that. But I've only been drunk one time this year, and it's March 5th.
Yes.
And I feel the best I've ever felt.
Oh, I thought you meant like it was March 5th. I'm like, girl, it's March 5th today. Are you drunk right now? Like I thought you meant like the only day you got drunk.
Oh, no.
I was like, wait a second. What?
This is a hammered episode of Unsolicited. No. It was Valentine's Day. Brian took me out to a nice dinner and we got a bottle of wine and I had multiple glasses.
Yeah, well, you know what? But like you're like that's okay. That's okay. Like I love that. But like literally like I went over the weekend to visit my grandma in Maine, right? And like it was just like a very socially drinky kind of weekend. Like we were going out and having dinner. It's like, oh, let me have a drink. Like this, that, oh,
Yes.
we went bowling, let me have a drink. And like I was doing that. And I literally like I had like 2 drinks. And I literally was like, oh no.
Yes.
And even like I'm sitting there with my grandma. My grandma had 1 glass of wine with dinner and then she like had a beer later. And grandma looks at me and she's like, I gotta sober up. I'm like, Grandma, me too.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with us? You're 85. Me, I'm 28. Like we were both like, oh my God, we have to stop. And then we went home, like both of us asleep in bed by 10:30.
I love that so much though. No, I'm excited because it's going to start warming up again. There is nothing that makes me want to have a cold beer more than like an 80-degree sunny day.
And like so much respect.
Thank you. Like I love sitting at an outdoor bar in the summer with a beer and like bar appetizers. Like to me, that is peak life. I'm like, this is what we work for.
No, legitimately. I love like and like those like twisted tea type drinks. Like I love like I don't know if you ever had like surf sides.
Yes.
But like those, I find those a little bit more refreshing than a twisted tea. But like I
haven't had a twisted tea in years.
Oh God, no, they're like
straight sugar.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. But like the surf sides are like they're making these like vodka twist like drinks now. So it's a cocktail. I guess that they're trying to make you believe. But like, you know, that with like a basket of French fries outside on a patio. Forget it.
Do you want to know what one of the best food combinations in life is?
I know what you're gonna say. Say it.
You know what I'm gonna say?
I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say.
A chicken Caesar salad and French fries.
Yes. Nothing is better than a chicken Caesar salad and a side of french fries. Li yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I want it right now.
I want it right now. I literally just I went grocery shopping today and I got, like, a bag like, Caesar salad, like, set thing.
Yeah.
I was, like, planning on, like, making it and then, like, having, like, I don't know, like, chicken tenders or something cut up into them to,
Yes.
like, make them like, crispy and yummy.
I
Oh
can't wait to make dinner.
my god. I'm literally gonna eat that for lunch tomorrow.
No, do I also have you ever made we're going now in a cooking conversation now.
It's fine.
Have you ever made french fries, like, from an actual potato?
Yeah.
Did you do the ice thing?
I do not know what that means.
I keep seeing, like, the Instagram reels. I get so many cooking videos because I save all of them. And everyone they're making, like, french fries, but they put it in ice after they cut them. And I'm like, that's why I haven't tried making them yet. I'm like, this feels overwhelming to me.
I don't think that's a necessary step.
Okay, all right.
I usually just put them in the air fryer or in the oven. Like, I
That's what and,
literally
like,
put them up.
I literally buy a bag of french fries and I put them in the air fryer. But I was like, one day I really want to do steak and fries.
Oh, love.
Yeah,
Any steak and potato is just
unreal.
excellent.
Guys,
You know,
can you tell I'm hungry?
I I know I haven't eaten dinner either, so that's why I, like, have, like, my little bowl of cucumbers here.
Amazing. Absolutely phenomenal.
Um, real quick before we move on, made me think of steak. Do you, like when you go to your mom's house, does she,
Mhm.
like, send you away with food? Like, ever?
Not really as much anymore. She always treats me to food, like, we always go out to eat, but she's so busy with work, she's not cooking as
Fair.
much as she used to.
My mom is not busy with work, so she does, like and my dad cooks, like, on the weekends and stuff. I literally walked out of my house yesterday with, like, a pocket full of steak. Like,
Wait, I just skipped over, my boyfriend's super amazing Italian mother, she literally just gave us a Tupperware of pasta and sauce and was like, "Here." And last week, all our pots and pans were away, and she called us over and said, "I'm making shrimp scampi." I was like, "Oh, thank you."
oh,
So, yes, I have one mother that always will every time I see her, she's like, "You wanna go to your favorite restaurant?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." And
yeah.
then I have another one that cooks all the time, and it's just we're always fed and always loved, and it's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's but, like, I literally, like, went to my mom's house just to, like, say hi, and she, like, handed me just, like a loose steak in, like, plastic, and she was like, "Here," and I, like, put it in the pocket of my jacket because I had nothing else, and I was like, "This is insane," but you know what? Then I had steak for dinner, so you know what? It worked out.
When you were growing up, did your parents ever buy, like, a giant box of frozen steaks?
Frozen steaks? No, but,
Is
like, we
that a
would go to
thing?
Costco and, like, get stuff, like, in, like, bulk.
I remember there was this one time, I don't know which one of my parents got it, but one of them did, and it was probably like 50 just, like, steaks, and our freezer was filled, and I'm pretty sure it was like a fundraiser or something. I was like, "Why do we have 50 steaks in the freezer?" Like, it was you couldn't fit anything else, and then
Yeah.
we didn't even get through all them. We were, like, handing them out to people, like, "Please take some of these steaks," like and I think back to that sometimes, and I'm like, "How did that happen? Like, is that
Yeah.
a thing?" Like,
No.
no,
I
okay,
don't know if we
alright.
ever had 50 steaks, but my parents still buy and they buy in bulk. I
Mm,
buy in bulk. I buy a freaking sheet of chicken
yes,
from Costco.
as you
So,
should.
yes, and then I freeze it, and then I
Yes,
have chicken forever. But
I know.
anyways, would you like to talk about the NFL?
Yes, I would, I
It
would
is
love
it's
to.
officially that time of year. It's
It is.
officially time
We're,
for
like,
us.
slowly creeping up on draft time.
Yeah, it's, like, a lot quicker than I want it to be quite honest with you. Like, I haven't had time to hyperfixate on anything quite yet.
Mhm.
But the combine's over, and, like, it's time. It's mock draft season, and, like, all these different things are happening, and, like, who's going where, and, like, Debo just went to the Commanders, which, like, you and I were, like, freaking out about, and yet your mother did not care whatsoever, but, it was I was, like, sitting there, and I was like, "I have no one to talk to about this," and then I was like, "Jordan!"
She literally, I texted my mom and I was like, Debo is a commander. And she goes, great. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, fine.
I strive to be her level of unbothered.
I just can't believe. Now, granted, I'm not really, and tell me how you feel as a Giants fan. I'm not taking away from Debo's talent because when he's healthy, he's obviously phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. But he has a really hard time staying healthy and he's older. I think we're gonna have like 4 to 6 games where Debo terrorizes people. But majority of the season, I think it's gonna be pretty light. And
Yeah.
that's my expectation, but I want your thoughts.
No, I agree because we were actually talking about this at work and like I feel like the word washed is too harsh because he's
Mm.
not. It's just like it's later in his career. And
Yeah.
like while he is still great, like I feel like it's not it's going to be impactful, but just not at a level that we would maybe normally anticipate it to be. But also, freaking Jaden Daniels is going to make anybody look insanely good on that
That's
team.
what I'm nervous about. Cause I'm like, I can talk all this shit on Debo, but he also now has Jaden Daniels. So it's like,
I am going to add something in here to bring up because it brings me to this. Miles Garrett. And obviously the Eagles have been doing a lot of behind the scenes work with Slay and Zach
Bradbury.
Vaughn and Bradbury. Like they're working it. Howie's working it. And I know you're under the impression that Miles Garrett is going to be an Eagle, which is
Yes.
so entirely possible. Like would not like if it happened, I wouldn't blink an eye. I'd be like, yep. But I saw something else about someone talking about him going to the Commanders, and
So
that was
my
interesting.
yes, my theory on Miles Garrett is like obviously Howie would want Miles Garrett. Like
Of course,
who
who
wouldn't
wouldn't?
want yeah. So it's like obviously he's interested, he's Howie, he's gonna call, he always calls, but I don't think he got really passionate. And this could be totally in my head, but my theory is he didn't get totally passionate about Miles Garrett until he saw how serious the Commanders were about getting him. And now he just wants to get him. So he doesn't go to Washington.
Yes, I would 100% see that.
That's a
And
very
like
Howie Roseman move.
yes, like that is he is very good at it. There's so many different places that he could end up too. And like I know people were talking about if Joey Bosa is not at the Chargers, he might end up at the Chargers and like this and that. But like he's a contender. It's like I'm thinking he's going to a contender, a team, two teams that were just in the freaking NFC Championship game. Like those are contenders. Um
And you know what color is cooler? Green.
Green. I literally like
Green.
I would not be shocked because they're so good at moving pieces around to get people like him.
And
So
also like the fact that they release Slay, release Bradbury, like they're clearing cap. And I know they just paid Zach Bond. I know they just extended Barkley, but
mhm.
like they're moving things around. Um, and yeah, I would love Miles Garrett. And everyone keeps talking about like why do the Eagles like need Miles Garrett? I'm like, we don't need him. Like we could just sign Sweat. But and I love Sweat. I don't think we're gonna keep Sweat, and that makes me sad. Like I respect him. He was could have been Super Bowl MVP, like just absolutely unbelievable. But to me, like our defense is so young that
Yes,
having
very.
a presence like Miles Garrett, I just think would elevate all of these young guys so much. And then also, like, you have a Miles Garrett. Yes, he's towards the end of his career, but he's Miles Garrett. Like, he wants to go to a contender, he wants to win. So, like, he's going to come out hungry. And
Mhm.
imagine you get Zach Bond and Miles Garrett together with all of these young Georgia guys. Like, I'm just like, this makes so much sense.
It
Run it
does.
back. Eagles dynasty incoming.
It is yeah. We'll see what happens. I'm currently hyper fixating on the fact that the Giants are trying to get the number overall pick right now.
Yeah, what is going on with this?
Ay, ay, ay. It's like a lot. It is like hard to think about. So like
Okay.
there's just like the talks right now are like them trading with Tennessee and like involving Kayvon. And like everyone's talking about how like they're just like, oh yeah, Kayvon, like we don't care. Get rid of Kayvon, get rid of Kayvon. And I'm like, we just drafted him and he's been injured. Like, can we like chill out for like half a second? Like everyone's like, yeah, he's a scrub, whatever. Get rid of him. And I'm like, but like I hate when the Giants do this and they like draft somebody and like especially in the first round and then like get rid of them. I mean,
Yes.
like Saquon we had for a while, obviously, and that was a whole different story. But like we drafted Kayvon like 3 years ago, and like I just I
And
would
you were all so excited about Kayvon. I know so many people have his jersey. Like,
yeah,
I just
like
feel like I feel like especially after the Saquon situation where you like got rid of like the heart and soul, like you finally have another player that fans are passionate about. It's like, why do you keep trading these pieces
well
that fans are
because
attached to?
we have no other good players on our team. That's why, and like
Oh, right.
like we are really bad, and like they're obviously never going to get rid of Dexter Lawrence. And if they did, I would. I can't even talk about it. I don't even want to think about it. Like he's someone that needs to stay a Giant forever. But like Kayvon, he's new. It's like and like he's not a bad player. Like he's been injured and he's prone to injuries, and I get it. I'm just not ready to let go of that yet. And like, what are we doing at the first pick? I don't.
Yeah,
I'm
do you
back on
take a
my
quarterback?
I don't want Shador Sanders. If we're getting a quarterback and we're gonna get Cam Ward, I need to know that Cam Ward is going to work. Like this is not a quarterback heavy draft. Next year is going to be a quarterback heavy draft. If we can't figure it out, if you're not so dead set on getting a quarterback in the first round and with the first or third overall pick, don't do it. Like there's like also second, third round guys that we could get on day 2, which are be
Yeah.
perfectly acceptable, especially if, and we'll get into this after this, especially if I don't know if they'd sign Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not, but like what are we what are we doing? What are we doing? Like I just this is a super heavy receiver draft, and I would if we got a receiver, I'd be like, okay, we need one of those. Like, and they're probably going to be phenom, especially with Malik Neighbors. So like,
Yes.
I just I'm really stressed about it. But like, if we do get Aaron Rodgers, odds are we get Devontae Adams. So it's like,
What the hell are they gonna do? This like I am just so perplexed by them and what has transpired over the last few years.
with the Giants.
No, with Aaron Rodgers and
Oh.
Devontae Adams.
With them because
With
they're a
them.
couple.
No, the Giants, I just I they seem confused and they seem very old school and they
Yeah.
seem like they don't really know what they want and they just keep picking pieces and they're not thinking about like the larger picture. And so they're just not clicking together. That's the vibes I get from the Giants right now.
We just don't need we just don't like we have to think outside of a white pocket passer quarterback.
Yeah.
Like we can go in a different direction. There are other good players in the world, and like that's what pisses me off. They're like, "Oh, he's not a giant, he doesn't fit the giant scheme." And this it's like we are
Then get
allowed
a new
to do
scheme.
that.
Yours isn't working.
It's not working anymore. It worked with Eli. We got the 2 Super Bowls. Like it was there. It didn't work with Daniel Jones. Like it is not unless you have like another superstar quarterback coming in right away. Like it's not going to happen right away. It's like we're years and years and years and years away from even seeing anything of a championship, let alone playoff wins or anything like that. So
You never know. We see how quickly the Lions turn things around.
yeah, yeah, but they also got a new coach, and it was a competent coach, and
Yeah, Dan Campbell's good at what he does.
yeah.
I also, going back to our food conversation, I got the best text in the world. Brian texted me, "Hi, I need you." And I said, "Are you okay? I'm still in the pod." And he said, "Yes, I'm fine, but I'm at Wingstop. Do you want anything?"
I need you.
Like,
Oh my
yes,
god.
I do. I do want things. So
Yes.
that just made, if you saw me texting, that was why, because I needed to say garlic parm wings.
Oh, amazing. I love that for you.
Thank you. But back to the Giants.
No, we don't have to go back to the Giants. It's okay. We don't have to keep talking
Do we
about
want to
that.
move on to Aaron Rodgers?
I have nothing else to say that I've not already said about that freaking team. It's just
It's a
we'll
lot.
see. We'll see what happens as mock drafts start to come out and more, chatter, but
And like we even talked about this at the end of the season, and this is the last thing we can say on it, but like they haven't made any changes to like their main guys. And it's like, how do you expect anything, like their front office guys? And it's
right.
like, how do you expect anything to change if we're not changing anything?
Yes, that's exactly the thing. And that's why everyone's so upset about Dable and Shane. And I'm just like, just make it work. Make it
Yeah.
work. I know I'm not expecting a Super Bowl next year or anything, but like let's like try to win games maybe and like I don't know, look competent so that people stop like saying how ass we are. We're so ass. So ass. It's like this is like the worst Giants team I've ever had like in my lifetime. Like as like a competent
Yeah.
football fan. Like I
Yeah,
we've
because
always been decently good.
when I was growing up, it was, like, cool to be a Giants fan, especially
Yeah.
in South Jersey, because obviously it's primarily Eagles, but there were always these, like, few kids, and I remember, like, there was this one kid in middle school who would always come in, and this is when the Eagles were not good, and he would come in his crisp white, Eli jersey, like, after every victory Monday, and I was
Mhm.
just like, "Damn, like, what's that feel like to, like, have a
Yeah.
cool team?"
And
But
here
it
you
just
are.
shows how crazy, like, the highs and lows are.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I'm not a Jets fan.
Yeah.
My dad's a Jets fan. He grew up a Jets fan. And I said, "I don't want to root for a team that's losing. This
Yeah.
team is winning."
That's how my dad so for those that don't know, my dad's a Commanders fan, my mom's an Eagles fan, and my dad fought for me for a while, and then he said, "Listen, I'm gonna let your mom have you because I'm not bringing you down on this ship." Like, I had a
Yeah.
Clinton Portis jersey when I was young, a Redskins Clinton Portis jersey.
Mhm. Yeah. No, that's we all make our decisions as youngins,
Yep,
and from there, it just sculpts your entire adulthood
it
and
really
your
does.
like, the way you feel, and it's don't get into sports if you don't want to, you know? Like, it's no one's forcing you into a fandom. Please. If you don't feel entirely confident about it, don't do it.
Yes,
It is a lot of work.
it
Um,
is. Unfortunately, coming from a Sixers fan right now.
I know. Oh my god.
No,
Yeah.
Sam, it's I haven't watched a Sixers game
I
in
mean,
weeks. I refuse.
Embiid needs to go, right? Like, he needs to call it a quits. It's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop, and I'm just so overwhelmed, and I'm so, so scared that they're gonna do something fucking crazy and, like, trade Tyrese or trade Jared McCain. Like, I just don't trust the NBA. The NBA, I know this is a little off topic. The NBA sucks anymore.
What do you mean?
I I just feel nothing, and I feel like all the guys that, like, we grew up, like, super into, like, J
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler's been one of my favorite players. He's going crazy right now. Steph Curry's, like, getting towards the end, like, Kyrie's getting towards the end. LeBron, I mean, he just hit 50,000 points, like,
Kyrie.
but, like, still, like, we're in this weird transition, and I feel like there's no, like, passion anymore. Like, everyone's just like, it's a very like contract heavy sport, and like everyone moves around so much, and like even it's not even like the players, it's like the Dallas Mavericks owner wants to move the team to Vegas so bad that he just got rid of Luca, and I'm like,
Yeah.
there's I just
No.
it's a weird time for me right now, and I'm really struggling. And I think obviously if the Sixers were good, I may feel different, but like with how bad the Sixers are, and I'm like, oh, let me like watch a different NBA team. I'm like, I don't care.
No,
Like,
neither do I. And, like, the Knicks are a good team, and, like, I still feel that. Like, it is just that, like, hype around the NBA is, like, non-existent now. Like,
Yes.
nobody really cares anymore, and to be honest, like, I don't know if this is just me, but, like, I feel like the WNBA is so much more interesting now,
I
and
100% agree.
and, like, even goes for collegiate basketball, like, I think the women's tournament is gonna be so much more entertaining, and, like, I'm not just saying that because I'm like, "Women's sports," you know, like, I, like, genuinely feel that way, like, I'm
Yes.
like, I don't give a fuck about the men's March Madness tournament, which is crazy because just a couple of years ago, it was like, that's all people cared about.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I'm so hyper focused on the women's tournament that it's like, this is so much more exciting.
Yes. I remember last year, I told my dad, I was like, the women's March Madness tournament is going to be bigger than the men's this year. And he was like, not even anything like against women's. He was like, there's just no way. Like, he was like, I don't see the demand. He's like, and especially like he's been watching for years and years and years. And he's like, I just don't see a world where like the women's. And then he called me like halfway through and he was like, you were 100% right. And he was like blown away. And I was like, I love like, and he even said, he was like, I'm watching all their games and like not the guys, and they were going on at
Yeah.
the same time. And I
Yeah.
was like, it's just such a special transition. And again, it's because all the
Mhm.
girls are so passionate. Like, I don't like,
It's so
they're
good.
all so fired up and into it. And obviously, college basketball for the men's is different than NBA, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The vibes are just weird.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, there's a transition of power right now, especially just within basketball. And it isn't fun and even the drama's kind of like that's
Yeah.
what I always liked about the NBA. It's just like the crazy shit that's going on. It's like that's not even really happening. It's like, oh
No.
yeah, Kyrie, takes his free throws after he tears his ACL, and you're like, oh my god, but then you're like, you know, ever since Woj retired, it's been
No.
downhill from there. It doesn't hit the
Yeah.
same to get that Shams report. I'm like, all right,
All
you
right.
know, it's
I mean,
not,
it's
it's not,
Woj.
I don't feel it the same way.
No, I completely agree.
We're just old crotchety people now.
We
That's what,
are. I
that's
bet
what
this
it
is what
sounds
our
like.
parents sounded like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is, but that's what
Yeah,
we know. That's all we know. It's like
yeah.
that's what we grow up with, and but well, we can either talk about Aaron Rodgers or say goodbye. What are your thoughts? Do you have a lot of feelings about Aaron Rodgers?
I I'm just I don't at this point, I have grieved Aaron Rodgers
So many
so
times.
many times
Yeah.
that I'm numb, which is honestly the best way to be because, like, you remember what, 4 or 5 years ago now, I was crying in my bedroom. Is that 4 years ago? 3 years ago?
I think it was 3 years ago, but that's still,
Okay.
like, so much time has passed.
Yes. 3 years ago, crying in my bedroom thinking he was retiring and I wasn't ready and I couldn't handle it. And now I'm like, dude, whatever you want to do because he's also not even Aaron Rodgers anymore.
I
Like,
know, which is, like, that's, like, now not how I wanna see these guys go out, like, no matter how
exactly.
crazy Aaron Rodgers is, like, I've still cared about him for so
Yeah.
long that I'm like, "That's your legacy, bro." Like,
Yes.
you need to wrap it up in a way that's, like, it's for the way everyone's gonna remember you, like, now everyone's gonna remember you as going kinda crazy and just shitting the bed with the New York
Yeah.
Jets.
Which is awful. And I want, as guys, I know I could get canceled for saying this, but I want better for him. Just because I still love
Yeah.
him.
And, like, I literally had this conversation yesterday. I was just like, I have such a soft spot for Aaron Rodgers that even though everybody now, like, the cool thing to do is hate him, it's like, no, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. I want
Yeah.
to see him go out on top and, like,
And I think he's a crazy bastard. I
he
think he's
is.
absolutely insane.
He is. But you know what? I think he's always been that way. He
Yes.
just he just put a lid on it
Yes.
for
And
so
then he
long.
got old and crotchety and you said, "Fuck it, here
Yeah,
I am."
and you know what? Respect.
Yes. He's
Like,
literally gray. Like,
it's like, dude, I get it. Like, literally, that's how we are now. Like, we're
yes,
literally just like, "Who cares? I'm gonna, like, say whatever I want."
yes.
But he
Phenomenal.
does, but it is an extreme. Don't get me wrong. He
It
can run
is.
around with Robert
It is.
Kennedy and, like,
But
it's, like, a little crazy.
no, I have no idea where I sit. Like, I have no predictions just because, like, it's team, you're gonna take a gamble, whatever team goes after him. And I'm just like, which team is willing to do that? Because it's like, obviously, there's a chance you get prime Aaron Rodgers, but there's a chance that you get old decrepit Aaron Rodgers. And it's like, it's still Aaron Rodgers. Like, you have to give up something for him. Like, I'm just very well. Did the Jets officially release him, or did they just say they're definitely not?
So the new league year, which is next Tuesday, I believe, the 11th.
He's a
So,
free
like,
agent.
yes, I think they cut him from the team.
Oh my God. So then imagine if we just go into next season and Aaron Rodgers is like still a free agent and he just like,
It's so possible.
I know.
It's very possible.
And then what happens to Devontae Adams?
He's got to go somewhere. But
This
maybe
is going to be a mess. And I have a feeling he's going to do what he does best. And he's going to drag this out until the week before the season starts and give me and Sam something to talk about every single week on the podcast. So make sure you keep coming back for our Aaron Rodgers updates.
Yes, please do. Please
We
do.
love it. We love it. We don't get tired of it, clearly.
Never, obviously.
And Sam, it felt so good to be back and see your face, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm a little tired and the setup's a little ugly, but we are almost officially moved in and I'm so honored to be back. And if you loved this episode the way we loved being back, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us here at the YouTube channel. You can find us on all of our other socials at the Unsolicited_podcast. That's TikTok and Instagram. You can find us on Twitter at Sam and Jordyn. And of course, we're also available wherever you get your audio podcasts.
Oh,
and I'm not going to say that we'll be back next week because we know the way things work around here. And I'm going to stop guaranteeing.
Yeah. Yeah, last episode, Jordan was like, "See you next week," and then literally afterwards, I was like, "Are we?" And she was like, "Oh no." And I was like, "Great." So we'll figure it out. Just keep a lookout on our socials and make sure you keep up with us.
Yes, we love you. Bye.